To absolutely no one's surprise, STR Broly is getting a super EZA, and man, is it busted. How's it, everybody? Celtic Link here. We're back for another Dokkan battle video. In today's video, we have the info for what appears to be the final bit of the worldwide download celebration with the Super EZA for the STR Legendary Super Saiyan Broly. So we're going to go ahead, we're going to take a look at what this guy does and talk about a little of what we can expect for the coming week as we lead into the end of this celebration. So we're gonna go ahead and jump on over to the translation details. So shout out to Minato for putting this info out here, translating the details. Very simple passive, and you know, honestly not surprising at all, given that this dude is basically an AoE unit with a blank slate, right? There was just so many different ways they could have went about this, and they did it in the best way possible. So he is a he is getting Key 2 and attack defense 200%. He's also getting an additional attack and defense 150% when attacking. He gets an additional attack and defense 30% up to 150% and reduces damage received by 10% up to 50% with each super attack performed. He also changes key spheres randomly to rainbow key spheres when there is a planetary destruction or pure Saiyan's ally attacking in the same turn. We'll talk more about that condition in a second, but he also gets key 1 and attack 10% for super class allies, and key 1 and attack and defense 20% for extreme allies per rainbow key sphere obtained. He also gives a chance to perform a critical hit 50% and launches an additional super attack for every 2 rainbow key spheres obtained. So let's talk a little bit about this, because this is absolutely crazy. So number one, right, we're dealing with a Super EZA here. So he is one of the original Dokkan Fests. Like, in fact, I'm pretty sure next to the AGL, he's one of the first. The AGL Super Saiyan 3, that is. And so, I mean, we are working with essentially nothing here. And this is kind of wild. Because, right, we're already like a 30% build up to an extra 150% on top of already getting 350% just when you're attacking is already kind of crazy. So adding another 150% on top of that, pretty darn good. It does mean, like Goku Black, like Kid Buu, he's going to take a minute to kind of get up there, but once he does, right, he's going to be putting out some pretty good damage, right? Now, the thing we have to remember is that as a Super EZA, his leader skill isn't changing, his super attack effect isn't changing, right? So if we just actually pop over here real quick to the, let's open this up so you guys can just see what we're dealing with his super attack effects. Let's just type in Broly here, and then we'll pull up the STR right here. So he's already been EZA'd, right? So when we talk about his EZA, this is what we're dealing with here. Supreme damage and raises attack for 3 turns. So he's not just building this extra 150%, right? He is building that extra 50% for each turn on his attack. So again, this is what I mean. Like, he's going to spiral out of control very quickly in terms of attack. And then defense is going to be honestly pretty passable for a Super EZA. Like, these guys haven't been the craziest tanks defensively, but add on to this 350% attack and defense when it gets fully up there, plus the support, plus all of the other support that's coming into him from the Broly team, assuming, because that's pretty much where you're going to be running him, right? On top of, right, the extra attack and defense for the rainbow key spheres that he's getting, on top of the everything else that he's doing, like, it just, he's going to be good. He's going to be real good. I'm actually pretty surprised that it's been a while since we had a Super EZA, and maybe it's just because they were cooking this guy up, because this guy looks like he's been in the oven for a while. He is just way too good. Rainbow Key Spheres, like, this is just super helpful, allowing a lot of those other characters that are on the Planetary Destruction team to, or, you know, the Broly team, right? He doesn't have to be fully on a Planetary Destruction like some of these others, right? Like, so he can help characters like Max or Bio Broly reach their 18, their 24 key, right? Even the other Brolys. This is actually really helpful. The Key Sphere chaining is really helpful for Tech Broly early on. For those first couple of turns, like if you're transforming him right away, he tends to struggle to get his 18 key until you do the active skill on the next turn, right? So having this is going to be really helpful for that. So like you're not losing out on that turn of attack raising. So honestly, it's pretty good. And I do like that right, so for Extreme Class, you're getting 20% per Rainbow Key Sphere here. So theoretically, you could get up to 100% if you got all 5 Rainbow Key Spheres. Now, that's not very realistic, but you could very easily be getting 80% with 4 Rainbow Key Spheres. Like, I think about, like, Super EZA Goku Black running on the proper team for him. You were pretty consistently seeing 4 Rainbow Key Spheres with him, or thanks to him on Rose's team. So, I mean, provided other orb changers like Int Broly post revive, like I don't see a problem getting 60 to 80% attacking defense for extreme allies. So, I mean, this is going to be crazy. This team is already trenched in extreme class support, so this is going to be pretty wild. I think you could do so. We're going to be able to pull up some silly stuff with LR Tech EZA Broly, and I'm all for it. Add on to the fact that this dude is an AoE unit, right? He is damaging all enemies with this, raising attack 50% for 3 turns, and then now for every 2 Rainbow Key Spheres, he's launching 2 additional. So if you have additionals built into him, you have a possibility of doing 3 AoE supers. I cannot begin to explain to you how ridiculous that is. 3 AoE supers is wild. So honestly, I'm pretty hyped for this. I'm pretty excited. They did this guy right. They cooked this guy for a good while, and it was worth it. Now, of course, that is not all that they announced. In game, we did get the announcement for the next stages of the Supreme Magnificent Battle. It should be launching tomorrow evening at the usual time. So far as we know, unless there is another stage, the final boss is going to be the Family Kamehameha, or actually, the final boss, well, it depends on the order they go in, right? If they go in order, the final boss is actually going to be Goten and Trunks. So this is going to be wild if they are the hardest boss in the game, or it's going to be, the way that it's framed here, looks like the final boss may be Family Kamehameha Gohan. So I'm curious to see how they handle these 2 fights. There's also the possibility that there is a final stage, right? The next movie following this is Gogeta, right? Fusion Reborn. So it's possible there could be one more stage versus the Super Gogeta, but I doubt it, because then why also leave out the Super Saiyan 3 Goku? Or maybe we will get both. Who knows? We'll see. But know that at a minimum, these 2 stages are coming. So that's exciting. We also obviously have the in-game announcement for this on global side, because they don't like to tweet info at us when it comes to EZAs. And then, of course, we have a maintenance coming up next week. Now, this maintenance coming up next week should contain all the info for the upcoming celebration. We usually end up seeing at least part of the info for whatever the October Dokkan Fest is going to be in here on the global side. This might be a bit different, though, considering now that we should be full synchro after this celebration. So I no idea what this is, especially considering there's entirely a possibility of us seeing something related to Dragon Ball Daima in the October slot. So we'll have to see what happens. Either way, I am really excited. They knocked it out of the park with this EZA. I can't wait to try him in game. Mine's 55%, so I may be picking up a copy or two of these guys. Hopefully you guys saved your redstone. So, guys, that is it for the video. If you liked the video, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you have not already, and in the comments down below, let us know, what do you think of STR Broly's Super EZA? I think they did a phenomenal job. They've been cooking this guy for quite some time. I would say at least since SAIYAN Day, with how well done he is. But let's wait till he's in game and give our final judgment. So that's it for the video, guys. If nothing else, thanks for watching, and aloha.